Well, it's that time of year again, Rita and James, when Australians get that warm and fuzzy inner glow as Mr. Morrison and Miss Ardern both stick their sticky fingers into taxpayers' pockets. So Scott Morrison's toddled off to Queenstown, beautiful Queenstown, lovely part of the world, where he will be berated by Jacinda Ardern, no doubt, and told that it's up to Australians to stop all those islands from sinking, even though they're not sinking. And they've got another story here as well. We've got to save the rest of the Pacific from COVID as well, Rita. Not just climate change. We're going to be busy, us taxpayers.
We are going to be. Those countries have been hit pretty hard also with their tourism, obviously, with tourists from Australia and the US and elsewhere not going there. Places like Fiji that rely so much on their tourism sector. So their economies have really contracted quite dramatically. So, yep, we'll be expected to be very generous there. And sure, James, Jacinda Ardern is again going to complain about Australia deporting New Zealand Crims back to where they came from.
Well, yeah, Rita, that's right. That's something that we always hear about from New Zealand, because they're just offended that we have the goal to enforce our immigration laws, which says that, hey, if you don't happen to have a passport and you go and commit a bunch of crimes, you can't stay here. Tough luck. But on the, I just want to go back for 1 second to the question of the islands and the support for those economies. You know, I know that it's another hit to the taxpayer. I know that we're spending all of this money, but I do think that there is something worthwhile in really engaging with a lot of these Pacific economies and trying to support them and get them through this, because the fact of the matter is, if we don't, China will. So we do need to spend a bit of money to keep them boxed out. And we saw that wonderful decision last week we talked about from Samoa to hit the go slow on a Chinese port. So we do actually need to, and sometimes that means just opening the checkbook. Keeping friends with our friends in the South Pacific. You know, we all want to go back there and visit our friends in the South Pacific soon. But in the meantime, we got to keep those economies going, ticking over, because otherwise China's going to come there with a big fat checkbook, and that's going to come with a lot of obligations and a lot of threats to Australia. So that's the situation.